car's in neutral, right? I bring the clutch up. We go forwards in what sounds like a very high gear. I love it. I love this. Yes. Brushless bastards. I don't really know what I'm looking at here. Technical term, I'm not sure. Looks like it's got to be a synchro, right? I think this is what synchros look like. Now then, YouTube, just a quick little intro because I've got quite a lot to do today. It's going to be a garage video. I'm doing the kind of final stuff to the MR2 to get it ready for the season, which starts in just a couple of weeks. First race, hopefully. So I've got to change the gearbox still. If you watch my video on how much it costs to go racing, I was kind of in the middle of that, but never ended up getting it finished. So I've still got to get the gearbox that's on its off, and then I've got to get the new gearbox on, and then I've got something which I'm going to be trying, which I've never tried before, with the engine oil. It's an engine flush, and I've never done that before, but I thought I'd try it. That engine, when I had the top cover off, it did look a bit orange. If you've not been following all along, this is a replacement engine that I put in last year. I got out of the donor car, had a few issues with the timing chain and stuff. But yeah, just inside it looks a bit orange, so I thought, never tried a flush before, we'll try it and see what it does. So I've got that to do, and then I'm going to give it a good old clean and take some nice pictures, which is probably what the cover photo is. And yeah, we've got all that to do in a day. It'll probably be the clean tomorrow, more than likely. Also got a new toy which will help me with this. It's laying in the back. Got a engine support beam, which a few of you recommended for me to buy last time I was doing the gearbox on the MR2, just so I can hold it up, because 3 of the 4 engine mounts for the MR2 are on the gearbox. So I've got a beam now. It's only 50 quid or something, so investment maybe. Now I have forgotten my tripod, and I do have my microphones with me, but I forgot to charge them. So it's going to be a pretty messy vlog this, more than likely. I'll pick the camera up when I see something interesting, show you what I'm up to. My first job, I'm going to really try and thrash out getting this gearbox off and getting the new one back on, and then start building it back up. I'm interested to see what the oil looks like after it's had this flush. We can try and see if the engine sounds any better. We'll do a quick video of it running and then put the flush in and stuff like that, see what happens. Pretty interested to see what goes on there. The clean, it needs a good clean up. It's not been cleaned since the last race. It's absolutely filthy. And I'm even going to polish it, I think, just to try and stop it getting so dirty all the time. Yeah, we're just doing MR2 pre-race preparation. But yeah, what we'll do, we'll go inside, we'll have a quick look, see what people are on with. There's a few people here today. And yeah, we'll get cracking. Garage video. Range Rover's looking slightly different. Not seen that one for a little bit. This is a good time to walk in. What chuff are you doing?
Just need a tyre on.
Oh! Yeah, I think we're good. Fucking hell. I've not even put my flash down yet.
It works, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. There's skyline stuff going on, look. Did you find out what was wrong with that tyre? So, I lent this guy my R33 wheels, went down the road for like half a mile, and he's managed to puncture one.
I think he gave it to me punctured, to be honest.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Setup. It's holding here now though, so it's not going down instantly, so...
Yeah. Fuck knows.
I'll take it off and I'll give it a spin.
Alright. What are you doing today, sir?
Baffled sump.
Baffled sump? You're going to be doing track days, bro? Nice. Now, my tripod's there, but I forgot the bit that goes in the top, so... Oh no! 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 Oh, the BMW badge is falling out of it. Oh no, I've had this for ages, man. Alright, that's the first thing of the day fixed. The old flask. It's probably the worst flagging. It is definitely the worst flask in the world. If you've got one of these, you know why. They're just shit. But you know, it's official product. But it is terrible. Just assembled the engine beam. Quite excited to be using this. This is one of the cheapest ones on eBay. You probably recognise the colour. Maybe SGS, I think it is. Do loads of tool stuff on eBay. You've probably seen them, but it's about 50 quid delivered, which is alright. Now there's 1, 2, 3 people here, all trying to fit a sump on a DC5. Why is it taking 3 persons?
Why aren't you helping?
I'm just showing them off my my lovely support beam well. Yeah. So I'm nearly there now. I've just got a few bolts to take out, but I thought you may as well get this supported and in place first, and then I don't have to do it later, so I can just get all the bolts out at once and wiggle the box off. Do you want to borrow my hammer?
It's £160 headache.
Right, the gearbox is almost off. Support beam doing the work. I've only put one of the bars in just on that side of the engine. It's got a nice slot for it, and I've made a bit of a silly mistake, and I thought I'd show you because you might find it's funny. So I got all the bolts out of the gearbox. I got all the engine mount. Well, I got the front torque mount and the rear torque mount off, and you know everything's good to come out. It was just this engine mount up here that was holding the gearbox in. So what I did was I jacked the gearbox up a little bit to take the pressure off, and then the plan was then let the jack down, get underneath it on my belly, and then wiggle the box off. But miraculously the gearbox has decided it just doesn't want to be on the engine anymore, and as I've been letting the jack down, it's obviously it's heavy at this side. It's rotated around the engine like this, and now I'm kind of in a silly position where if I let the jack down anymore, I'm probably going to be hitting the floor with the gearbox. So yeah, shit. Right, something interesting's happened, so it's time for me to show you. So I got the gearbox off, not that one, this one, and I was slightly concerned about the replacement box because of one thing, which is that input shaft. Now if I turn that real nice and smooth, feels good, yada yada yada, everything's alright. That's the gearbox that was on the car. Now if we come back to this one, which has been fiddled with, I mean, I can just about turn it, but it doesn't feel anything like what this one. Now this one's obviously still got gearbox oil in it. It's got a bit of oil floating around and it's been circulating for a couple of races and stuff, whereas this one's, you know, got just loads of dust and crap in it more than likely, so there's no oil lubricating anything. The concerning thing is it varies, so I mean it's real stiff there, but if I go around a little bit it gets a bit smoother. Now I am definitely concerned, but this has, in traditional style, turned into a 2-day job because I found something else that I need to do. And you might remember a while ago I was doing some helicoils on this, and one of the screws that hold in the half shaft, which is the drive shaft which has 2 ends to it, one of the bolts for that is cross-threaded, so we're going to do a helicoil. But what that means is we've got to take the exhaust off and the subframe. But I may as well do it now and just get it done. So we'll not worry about that just for now. We'll come back to it, have a think. The shaft, I'm pretty sure the shaft, that one, I'm pretty sure it's a circlip at the other side and in the box end. I mean all the bolts, I've torqued them all up right, but I'm pretty sure it's a circlip at the other side. So surely it can't be in further than it needs to be. I don't know, there's no play in there. Maybe it's just that it's got no box oil in it, but we'll not worry about it for now. I'll get this subframe off and we'll get helicoiling. Cheap engine brace, what do you call it, a brace? Support beam, I think that's what they call it, the proper term, is doing good. She's holding the engine up, see? There's just one engine mount holding it on, so that's why you need that. And there are 2 spots. Toyota have given 2 holes where we could potentially, because the kit does come with 2 of these, so you could potentially have it on both sides, but I thought one was enough in it. Yeah, so far so good. So I'm going to get the exhaust off and the subframe off, and then we'll get helicoiling. Well, my wonderful exhaust midsection's off, and I forgot to thank Josh for this on the how much did it cost to go racing video, and he whinged about it, so I do really like it. Josh, really good. Look at this. Ooh, shiny. Oh, it's all the right colours and stuff, right? But look what's happened here as I was doing it. So there must have been some tension in the exhaust system, which might have been propping the engine one way or the other or whatever. As I took the exhaust off, I got up and I put it down, and then as I was walking back, it's fucking gone down there and it's fucking wedged right in. So I'm gonna have to jack it up and reset all this. It's on these rubber feet, look, which is good, but it seems to just slip off. I'm guessing this is all oily, or it's got some kind of fluid on it maybe, and it's not getting enough friction to it or something, I don't know. But yeah, it just slipped off. Right, an autopsy on what just happened. So I jacked the engine back up and I reset this, and now we're happy. The jack's out of the way. Now what happened, what I think happened was, when I relieved the exhaust, like I said, the engine wanted to tilt a little bit. Now this maybe wasn't as tight as what it could have been, but what definitely wasn't as tight as what it could have been is this bolt here. If we can have some focusings. Now this bolt goes through, and then you've obviously got these two rubber pads here. Now it all kind of slid forward and went in, but this, I mean, it must be able to pivot for some reason, right? Someone's made it just one bolt hole for a reason, so it can pivot surely. But why would you want it to pivot? And it only threads in to this bit of steel here. So I got the new Ugga Dugger out, which hasn't really seen much action on the channel yet, but he's a bit of a bastard, one of these brushless bastards. So I've put some more Ugga Dugger on each side, so hopefully it won't try and tilt anymore. And then took up the slack again on here. I also put them out as far as they could go, so this side's now, you know, it's on the actual fender. Let's say it's on the fender bender on the outside, so hopefully that'll be all right. Now it's still got a little bit of a tilt on, but because I was jacking it up from one point and it's only attached one point here, the engine was really starting to rotate. But that should be all right for now. Oh baby, oh baby. But yeah, that should be all right for now, because I need to leave it overnight, remember, because this has turned into a 2-day job, which is fine. But yeah, I got the exhaust off. I'm just gonna take the subframe off now, and then it's helicoil time, and hopefully we don't get twatted by an engine. Alright, I know a few of you also watch Adam Ivel's channel, right? You might have seen he recently had a bit of a problem doing a helicoil. Now, how can we avoid drilling through our engine block when we're doing our helicoil? Well, we go back to old school techniques. So what do? We get something that fits down the hole. So this is the hole that we're repairing. So we put it down the hole and we get a pen, mark it when it's at the end. You can see I've done a little pen line there, and then we offer it up to the drill bit. So we offer it up to the drill bit, then give ourselves a little margin of error, a couple of millimeters, and then we know when to stop. That should do it. Tappings. Now what a wise man would have done was to mark this as well, but I am not a wise man. Alright, looks like we're going to want to go balls deep here anyway. Wants to go all the way in. Alright, we're in quite a predicament now, chaps, because this is getting quite hard to turn, and because I didn't drill all the way through, that means there's still some metal at the back. There's still some metal at the back there, which is obviously going to be fighting against this. The last thing we want is to snap this tap, because that ain't coming out. Jesus. If I run the drill down there again, what do? I risk damaging the threads that I've just put. So here I am, trying to sound like Mr. Information Man, and I've made a bit of a doozy. So what's happened here then? Twin axle trailer, car on trailer.
You've missed it.
Yeah, I missed all the action really, but I mean, there's still potential for something wild to happen right now. She's definitely a bit arse heavy, this one. I need to blow my bar out, but she no reachy. Bastard. I'm gonna have to suck it out with my hoover. I spoke to Matt, who helped me with my gearbox, and he recalls third gear synchro being a bit sticky or a bit stiff. So we're just gonna bolt it together and hope that it works. If not, loads of heat can only be good for it, right? Well, this has gone from slightly bad to slightly worse to now not so bad, but I mean, it's better than nothing. I'm at that stage now where it's getting towards the end of the day. I've already been here for longer than what I want it to be, so I am calling time, I think. But I mean, we've got threads where there were no threads before. You know, we've had to take the subframe off, we've had to take the exhaust off, so at least we've got something that we can work with, and all the other threads are all nice and good anyway, so that's fine. It's what you call gravy. Ah, Bisto. Did I really say I was going to polish this today? Fuck. Yeah, maybe not. Alright, welcome to day 2 of this. I wasn't going to do any videoing today until I had this all back together so we could, you know, go outside and end it all nice with a clean and perhaps a polish, but it's fucked up again. So I've got the gearbox back in. We come round here. So I've just got the gearbox back on and put all the bolts in and started to put the engine mounts and things like that on. Then I've gone to put the slave cylinder on. Guess what happened? So slave cylinder's held on with 2 of these little 8mm bolts. One in, fine. Put the second one in, fine. Threaded in, nipped it up, pulled the threads out. Again, I've done things on cars for so long, right? And I've never had as many incidents like this before than I have with this Toyota. And I don't think I'm doing anything. Obviously the slave cylinder is obviously under a bit of load from the clutch fork, right? So, but I had one bolt already threaded in fine, and I'm putting the second one and it threads fine. And then when I nipped it up, it just said, no, I'm actually going to take those threads for a walk, and just pulled them out. It's really annoying. So obviously you saw me yesterday doing a helicoil on the drive shaft, on the half shaft bolts. I've had to do one already to this gearbox, which I didn't show you, which was actually on one of the engine mounts. And now I'm going to have to take the gearbox off again to do another helicoil on the slave cylinder bolts. Yeah, one of them's pulled the threads out, so the gearbox has got to come off again. I don't think she'd even deserves a polish, to be honest. So I think we could write that off now. We might give it a little clean, but if you think I'm getting my Auto Glim Super Resin out, then I don't think so. So yeah, that's the plight of the day. So I've already been up here a couple of hours getting everything together. Obviously I thought I'd wait until I had a decent update to show you, but the car has decided to ruin the day slightly. But hey ho, get this gearbox back off and then I'll give you a closer look at what's happened. There's no way you can get in with a drill where it is. The gearbox has got to come off again, so. Mint. Some side news, Ed's preparing this season's race van. As you can see, he's got a bit of a bertha. Ed's pretty tall, and look at that. I mean, look at all the headroom. I mean, yeah. I mean, even with a helmet on, you might, yeah, ish, yeah. Bertha. If you remember the Transit from last year, well, that's gone. Yeah, new race van. I had a bit of drama getting the box off yesterday, so I'm going to see if it happens again. Give you a good view. Bit higher, you say? Just wait there. Adjustable tripod. Do with some exposure. Whoa, that's got some exposure on it now, hasn't she? Oh. Not a lot of drama. So yeah, the inside one was just fine. It's the outside one that pulled its threads. You can kind of see there, can't you? I love it. I love this. Yes. Shabba. Right, I'll get this back in now and then hopefully join you when I was planning to, when it's all back together and lovely. What, you want to watch me struggle to put the gearbox back on, really? Well, if you really want to.
all it is.
I needed so much more. So these things are normally a struggle. Little horse interlude. Have you been plaiting his tail?
Oh, don't. He's poorly.
He's not done it himself, has he? Yeah, he's shat all over his tail, you know.
Yeah, he's poorly.
Yeah, you just get more. Ooh, hello. Ooh.
Don't tip it over.
Ooh.
Don't tip it over. Don't stop it.
What's up?
He's agitated. Hey, you little man.
Oh. Just a little mid putting everything back together update. It's done a little wee. And it's from the thermostat. Now I think because I had to jack the engine up slightly at a weird angle, because I'd forgot to put the shift things, where the shifter cables sit on, which was obviously a right pain in the ass to do, but we got it done. But I've put some awkward strain on the thermostat, and it's a plastic housing, and you know how I feel about plastic thermostat housings. Well, hopefully it's not cracked. So I'm going to wipe that up, and hopefully there's no more wheeze. But it was straining it enough so that it could weep past the gasket. So that's not good. Right, it's definitely going to be a 3-part video now. All in the one video, of course. Nice long jobby. Car's back on the ground, but hey, I've been here quite a while, just getting it back in. Having the engine hoist on seemed to, obviously it was grabbing the engine at the front, it was tilting a bit, and so I had to do some gymnastics with the trolley jacks just to get the engine mounts back on and happy. And yeah, no more helicoils luckily. I did have, I'll show you, I did have potential. There was potential for another helicoil. So I've just put the gearbox oil in now, and that stud there on the end of the exhaust pulled out the stud and then wouldn't thread back in. So I got the new co-star of the vlogs involved, big DeWalt lad, and I just held the trigger down because fuck it. So yeah, there's two studs in it, and then there's one bolt that I just sent in. Yeah, subframe's on, obviously all suspension's on, wheels are on, it's on the ground, everything's back together. I was just doing the last part now, which was sticking the oil in, and I was going to chuck some cheap oil in because we don't know if it's going to work or not, but I just chucked the stuff in that I'd bought from Tegua, and we'll just send it, see what happens. So what I'm going to do now is put the cap back on the top, make sure I can get gears by hand, make sure I can get into all the gears and stuff, and then we'll start it up and hopefully not hear any nasty noises. But so race car prep still undergoing, nearly there, so let's see if it works, because you know we might have to take the gearbox back out yet, and that's not what I want to do. So I'll see if I've got gears, and then we'll start it up and hopefully not hear any screeching from that input shaft. Right, I can definitely get gears. Oh, it takes a lot of effort to get into first. Listen to this. Oh. Right, fuck it, we've got nothing to lose. So I'm going to start with the clutch in, and then I'll slowly let the clutch out, and hopefully no nasty noises. No starty. Why is that? Right, what's happened is when the engine support beam fell off, it's wiped out the power to the starter motor. So that's what's happening. I don't know if I've got any more of these connectors either, so I'll have a quick look, but that might be it for today. Right, I didn't have another connector, so I've just rammed it in and tried to crimp it again. Yeah, well, opened it up a little bit, and it's a proper bodge, but if it'll let me just start the car now so we can test this, then that's all we need. Alright, clutch in. Okay, the bodge worked. Clutch is still in. So we're not engaging that input shaft yet. What's this going to sound like? Slowly, 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 slowly. Oh, it's trying to drive the car forward. Why is it driving the car forward? Okay, something's grabbing so much that it is trying to propel me forward. Fuck you! So I can't take the clutch out, otherwise we're going to go forwards. But we're in neutral. What the fuck? I couldn't resist trying to get the clutch out, knowing that I had something to stop it, but it just wasn't going to stop going forwards. Kind of feels like it's not in first gear, kind of feel like it's in like second or maybe even something else, but whatever it is isn't freeing off because the smell of clutch was starting to get strong, so that's definitely enough for today. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. I don't care. I do care, obviously. This is less than ideal. Yeah. This is not good. Yeah. Maybe I'll just have a tidy up. Although it does look like today might have been a massive waste of time, and yesterday, of course. Yes. Excellent. Right chaps, this is where we come to an end, so perhaps been a massive waste of time as per usual. We had a fair few struggles along the way, and the end product, which is a gearbox which was assembled here, let's say, has decided to go forwards in neutral, which is slightly less than ideal. Right chaps, welcome to the day after. I had a sleep on this, and it's not ideal, is it? But I think what I'm going to do is take it for a drive. I'll see if it drives. I'm pretty sure it will drive, but I think we'll have one or two outcomes of going for a drive. I don't think either of them are what you want. It's either going to blow up or miraculously fix itself. Now, not a great chance of the second happening, I don't think, but if the gearbox has got to come off anyway, I may as well just try and drive it and see what happens. That's the conclusion that I've come to anyway, so let's see how it goes. I appreciate you can't see me very well, but this is no good. Just getting it out of the bay there, it was like almost like the diff was locked. Can you hear that? I'm trying to hold the clutch at a steady rate, and it's like intermittent, the transmission. Strange. So just so I can show a little bit better about what was happening yesterday, car's in neutral, right? I bring the clutch up, we go forwards in what sounds like a very high gear, but I can engage first, and I can set off in first just fine. But I can't bring that clutch up in neutral. Well, we didn't get very far on our test drive. I'm going to put the car back in the bay and get the gearbox back off again. So what I'll do is I'll put my camera on the floor here somewhere and just listen out for the grabbing noises. It's when I was backing out of here, it kind of felt like the car had a locked diff, but then as I kept the clutch at a constant pressure, it was kind of fucking shite. So, posh gearbox oil, you're going back in the posh bottles. Please no metal filings. and yeah, we'll spend this evening just getting that gearbox back off, make some space on the table. Something's gone wrong. Something's gone very, very wrong. So maybe we'll get the gearbox apart as well and see if we can figure out what's going on. Not good. This is an extremely technical process. Not technical enough to get the car level and actually get it all out, but still pretty technical. It's got 1.5 litres out, so looks real green as well. I don't think I've hurt anything, I just think there's something really not quite right. But hopefully I'll have this box off in an hour or so and we can open it up and have a quick look. Right chaps, we're ready to take the gearbox off once again. Believe it or not one single stripped thread, no alloy pulled at all during the third time we've had it off? I'm losing count, but yeah, every bolt came out real nice. Obviously it's only got put on yesterday, so yeah, that might have something to do with it. But what I'm going to do is I've got the engine mounts off. The engine's being supported currently by the beam, and I'm just going to unwind the beam a little bit, because you do have to have a little bit of a tilt on just to get the box off, otherwise it'll hit the chassis rail. So I'm just going to wind it down a bit on that, and then I'm going to put you back in the hot seat, so it'll either be money shot or summer teeth. Not sure which way it'll go. It's pretty late in the day. What time is it? I started at 7. I must be getting good at this. You do it fucking enough times, Dan. You should be pretty good at it by now, shouldn't you? So yeah, I'll give you the money shot, and yeah, then we'll get it on the bench. Obviously I need to have a bit of a tidy up first, but we'll get it on the bench and see if we can figure out what's going on. We're not going to get any focus. Well, I can show you this one. I left this engine mount on thinking I'd wiggle it off, not realising that obviously it has to come this way before it can wiggle. What a fool. The reason I left this is because this is the one that's notorious for pulling threads, and I have helicoiled one of them. There's 2 bolts up here. I have helicoiled one of them already and I didn't want to do it, but you can't get it off because it needs to come this way, Dan, you fool. This way, this way. So yeah, I'll be very careful, and then if it just falls down, I'm sorry, but I'll take these bolts out and then resume the money shot or summer teeth position. Oh, no. I haven't lowered the engine back down. Ugh. I had to raise the engine up to get the mount off again. Right, this is the one. Hey! Okay. So what's the first job, hey? What's the first job? Correct. Gearbox out. Precious. Alright, that should do it. Yeah, we got nearly the full 2 litres out. Okay, so the box is off the car. What do we know? Well, you might have not been able to tell so well on video what was happening, but the car was juddering when moving, inconsistent delivery of the torque, let's say, and obviously I couldn't bring the clutch up in neutral at all, so something's stuck. Now this input shaft doesn't seem as bad before, but it binds there, it's stuck. Alright, it's not quite stuck, it's not stuck solid, I can still turn it, but it's got really stiff, and then, alright, it's got stiff again, now it's freed up a little bit again, so really inconsistent on the input shaft. Now, obviously I don't really know anything about gearboxes other than what I've been trying to do, and there was a bit of an experiment a couple of weeks ago which I didn't do any videos for, which resulted in this gearbox. So I took it a bit of a step further under some supervision for most of it, and the box seemed okay. Just obviously when I tested it yesterday, that input shaft felt a bit dirty, but we carried on anyway, thinking it might just be because it's got no oil in it. But yeah, ultimately there's something very wrong if I can't let the clutch out in neutral. So let's strip it down. I'll not do a video stripping it down, but it's mostly just taking bolts out. Can we figure out what's wrong with it? Ooh, probably not, but we'll have a look. Well, just a little update. So I've got a lot of the stuff out, shifters out, took a few of the bolts, the bell housing out, took the big nut off, which what's this shaft called again? This you're the input shaft and you're the other shaft. Me forget your name. But what I want to show you was, so this is 5th gear, right? I think this is 5th gear. Anyway, if I spin this by hand, feels a bit free and then bindy. So this is the shaft that goes through the input shaft. So this is the one that comes out the bottom of the bell housing. Now just there, it's got real stiff. And then I can overcome it, then it gets real free again, and then it gets real stiff. Now I actually had a problem with this when I put it back together. This gold thing here, oh, what are you focusing for, you fucking prick? This gold thing there, that's a synchro, right? I think. Anyway, it's got some kind of grooves where it sits into. And I didn't have the proper tool to put this on, as you can imagine, so I tapped it on with a hammer and a socket. And when I did that, I actually forgot to align it properly. And then that was real bad news, but I managed to solve it by pulling it back off and then putting it back on. So what I'm wondering now is, when I've bodged it on wrong, is that me doing that? I don't know. It's almost like, the way the box feels, like everything should be pretty straight, right? But it kind of feels like something's got a bit of a wave in it or something on the old feel. No, I don't think it's related to this. I'll pull this off and then I'll spin the shaft with just these gears off, and then if the shaft suddenly becomes very free, then I know it was something to do with this. I don't think it will though, but we'll see. Right, here comes the fun part. So we've not got a lot of room under that gear to try and pull it off. Oh, we got pretty far, and then the puller slipped off. But we got pretty far, look, so it's definitely working. And I have chipped the gears a little bit. I mean, it's just slipped off there, and what can you do when it slips off? Well, it's going to take a bit of cog with it, so that's just the way it goes. But let's carry on. Good thing is now we've got all that to play with, because it's just this part which is actually pressed on at the top. We can actually get a good purchase now on the puller. So let's do it while it's hot. Right, it turns out I was making a fatal mistake there, and I've just chipped even more off of this gear because of it. Now this puller has this little kind of collet thing that it sits in. That's wider than the gear that's coming off. It's wider than this, so it was just pressing against itself. Stupid. So got a little bit more of a chip there, but I mean, who uses 5th gear anyway, right? Fuck it. Right, what I could have done here is put a little screw or something in there, but just can't be bothered. So it's off. Ta-da! I had to Google the name of the shafts, and I feel a bit stupid now because it seems pretty obvious when you think about it. So if that's the input shaft and that comes from the engine, and this shaft puts power to the wheels, could it be the output shaft? Yeah, apparently this is called the output shaft, which rings bells a little bit and makes sense, so we'll stick with that. Input shaft, output shaft. Oh, definitely something in there, innit? But we're running out of time, so I think before I get too stuck into it, I'm going to pack up and clean up and go home, and I'll come back another day. I'll see you New video or carry on? New video or carry on? I don't know. New video or carry on? I guess we'll see what happens. New video or carry on? Right, we're on to day 4, and I'm gonna have to stop this soon because this video's probably gonna end up bigger than the space that I have on my laptop. My hard drive is actually smaller than the memory card that's in this little camera. So yeah, I'm gonna have to stop this soon. So maybe today autopsy, and we'll see. Try and find out what the hell is going on with that gearbox, and then I think we'll have a part 2 where I'll pick it up again and we'll hopefully resolve the issue, get the gearbox back in the car, do the oil change, you know, set up the wheel alignment and everything, and then finally polish the turd.
The last one you did worked.
Well, I've just got here, and
I'm wondering whether that. Oh God, I'm wondering
this.
if it's hot and it will start working.
Well, maybe we'll let it cool down, but you'll recognise this drill, right? It's been with us for a long time. It's done a lot of good duty, and this man here has been using the drill. He's got his own drill, but he's forgotten it. So he's been using the drill to do some, what he says are light tasks on his van, light duty tasks, and he's fucking let the smoke out of her.
I think it was a booby trap.
And she's fucked. She's not doing anything.
You left it there.
Mate,
Not working.
I did helicoils with this just the other day. It's on video. It's in this video. This is day 4 of this video.
Broke 2 days ago. You're gonna edit it out.
This drill did not break. So we've put a new battery in her, and yeah, she's still dead. So
Booby trap, Charlotte. He's left it there. He's a suspected victim.
he's fucked my drill, this man, and he's forgotten that I'm driving his Skyline in a couple of days.
He's professional, isn't he?
I'm professional, Charlotte. Hey Ed, it's not even switch. Oh, there we go. It wouldn't switch into.
Don't break it anymore.
It wouldn't switch into reverse then. So what do you say about having a AVE style autopsy on this, and we'll pretend that we know what we're talking about. I was looking at a new drill anyway, because it is a bit crap this, the run out's terrible, and because I've got this new DeWalt lad and I've got a spare DeWalt battery, then yeah, I was going to just get a DeWalt drill for about 75 quid or something, should be alright. But yeah, maybe we'll do an AVE style autopsy on that. I'll let it chill with the battery out. Yeah, I'll let it chill with the battery out, and we'll maybe try it again later. But there's some real heat going on there. So I don't know what he's done to her, but something. Yeah, he reckons I've set him up, but you've seen the evidence. It's in this video. We were using this, weren't we? Doing all the helicoilings. But it's probably time for a new one anyway. But I do fancy doing an AVE style teardown though. Having a video of just looking at a tool inside and stuff, so if you're interested in that, let me know. But our job for today, hopefully we've got no drilling to do, but our job for today is to get a bit further into this lovely thing. So what we'll do, we'll get this, I'm pretty sure this isn't pressed on, I think it just lifts on. We'll get this out, get this bearing cover off, and then we can separate the casings. There's a couple of little things to do, but then we can separate the casings, and then we'll see the input shaft and the output shaft, and then we'll hopefully be able to see what's gone wrong. Right, I'm just at the point now where I'm going to split the 2 casings. So I've got the snap rings out of here, bearing case off, which is down here. Try to keep things together. Got all the bolts out, the other bolts that hold on the middle casing, I don't know what you'd call that. You know, there's a lot more bolts on this side though. So we've got it torquing a little bit, so it should just now lift off. Shift pin detent balls are out, so it should just lift off. Right, so we're well into it now. Diff, output shaft, input shaft. So the little gears look in the diff. Right, well, of course, I don't really know what I'm looking at here, so give me a minute, I'll try and let you know what I'm seeing. It's not something I've got a great deal of experience with this, So I'm trying to look at it logically, right? So I've got the shafts out. This is the output shaft, we know the name of it now. That's your, that's what goes into the diff there, the final drive. All I've been doing is spinning things on here, right? Things, spinning the things, yeah? Spinning things. And, you know, just playing, right? And everything seems pretty much alright with that. But with the input shaft, which is the one, this one, yeah, one that goes in the clutch end, everything feels alright, but this here, when I spin it, it goes really free. It randomly gets a bit stiff, which is obviously what the input shaft was doing. I'll give you a little update since I'm pretty stuck in now. So I'm just splitting this input shaft. I spoke to my engineer friend who helped me put this together. And he agreed that the thing that we could see looked a bit dodgy. So I'm going to split it, and I've got the spare shaft from the other gearbox that was in bits. And I'm going to try replacing the third gear. And well, not the gear itself, but the synchro and things around it. So just got that top bearing off. Right, just before I get any further, I feel like I'm at a point now where I can truly show you what I think is wrong. So if we go to this gear here, what I'm spinning with my hand, which is third gear, it's just gone really tight. Oh, it's really tight, and then it's free. It's free, and then it's really tight again. And then it's free, and then it's free. So I've just removed the snap ring that goes around there. I'm going to pull this off. Hopefully, find somewhere to pull it off. And yeah, we've got some spares here from the other gearbox. And I'll see if I can put something together that doesn't feel like that. So that is taking a lot of force to try and turn now. But if I go back, it gets really easy again. So it's got to be the problem, right? Right, I'm at the stage now of building back up. So it's just turned about 9:30, but I'm going to carry on and try and at least have the shaft built, and then maybe put the rest together tomorrow or something. So this is the one that I've just took off. Still quite hot. So technical term, I'm not sure, but yeah, it was sure grinding its heart out, or there's something not quite right. Now with this off, third gear, it's nice and smooth. So the challenge is going to be, this is the spare one that I had. The only difference you might notice, if we can get a focus, yeah, the only difference is this one's stamped 2050, this one's completely blank. The thickness and everything's the same, I've measured them, everything's the same on that. There is a bit of difference on this, which I'm going to call the synchro. Looks like it's got to be a synchro, right? I think this is what synchros look like. The actual teeth on this are in a lot better condition than the teeth on this one, which are all kind of half mooned. So that's the bad one, yeah? And then if we compare, put them side by side, you can see, just trust me, one of them looks better, because this camera's testing my patience, man. Twisting my melon, man. So I'm going to build this back up with that on. Try and have both the shafts built up. I might put the shift forks back in and stuff, and then we'll do the rest tomorrow probably. Right chaps, I come with the good news you've all been waiting for. Those of you who are still watching this vlog. Now, do you remember when we pulled this off and we noted that the part, fucking focus you cunt. We noted that this side had a part number that we could see, right, or it had 2050, where I couldn't see any stamping at all on the other one. Now, if we flip it, now can you see there's a bit of a space on that side, right? That's where the snap ring should go. Whereas on this side, it's grooved all the way. So, that was the problem. This was on too far, and it must have been trying to engage third gear, which is why I couldn't take the clutch out. So there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I couldn't tell any difference. We've got a slightly better synchro going on, so you know, all is not lost. But yeah, finally found, the reason I found it out was I just put this on and I couldn't get the snap ring on. I thought, fucking hell, what have I done here? So yeah, I did the same mistake myself as what we did before, and then couldn't get the snap ring back on, and then took it back off and luckily found that groove. So groove armada style, we've found it. So now I can hopefully assemble this and get home. It's a decent, getting quite late obviously. I know you like a time update, but let's finish this. Right, that was a massive false alarm. I thought I'd cracked it. What I can't do is find a way to get all of this together and get this chap on and then get the snap ring in. There's just no room. And when I push this on a little bit more to try and get the snap ring on, I just have the same effect where I end up locking the gear up. But with that said, it's getting really late, and as much as I don't want to leave this like it is, I'm going to have to end. So I'm going to do my best to try and make a bit of an organised mess out of this, so I know where things are, and then I'll return tomorrow. But I need to end this video because of the reasons I gave at the start of day 4. I've just not got the hard drive space to keep up with this. So thanks for watching, and I'll continue with a part 2 of the MR2 race preparation. So hopefully we get this together. I'm pretty sure I can. I just need to iron out these creases and get it back in the car, get the oil changed and do the wheel alignment, and then finally at the end of part 2 we'll get the super resin out and we'll give it a good buff. So I hope you've enjoyed watching so far. The plight, getting really stuck in with these gearboxes and trying to make it work, but so far not so good. So a bit of a cliffhanger for you. We'll see what happens in part 2. I'll see you then. And just like that, all of the problems went away.